Hi, this is Regine, and I would like to say, let us praise the name of the Lord, because when praises goes up, blessings can rain down. If you want to invite the Lord into your life and be the Lord of your life and the master of your destiny, we ask that you may go to your local church where you may learn and grow in the Lord. Hallelujah. Today I want to talk to you about disabilities. In our country, we have about 35 million people who have disabilities and plus. And then I would also say there are also disabilities that we are unaware about, that everybody, I want to tell you, really, in reality is everybody has a disability, whether it's a mental disability, a physical disability, or a disability caused by some disease. You have actors who have disabilities, but they have overcome their disabilities, limitations, and it has not hindered them from working and having a productive life. We got African Americans that have disabilities, but they are not limited to their disability, and they live a great, fulfilled, happy life, a good life, and a prosperous life. And we have blind people that could sing. We had a deaf person that could play, that read music, was a great composer. And so disabilities shouldn't be a limitation, because there are other things that you could be great despite that you have a disability. I have a disability. It's called amblyopia. That means I have a lazy eye in my left eye. I have more vision in my right eye than I have in my left eye. But I can see visually. I have great vision in it, but it just had this little glare to it, like a little tiny glare. But God can bless that. It's nothing impossible with God. And I want to say that a lot of people with disabilities, people segregate us, even though they have laws for people who have disabilities nowadays. And people with disabilities have some rights, but still we are still a movement, and we are still segregated, and we are victimized. And not only victimized, people look at you like you're being pathetic, and some people see you as being a pervert just because you have a disability. See, a disability doesn't mean that you completely limited. There's this all full lot of limitations. Some creativity that can be featured that you can do. Some great tasks that you can still do. Or you could be, give a smile. I have a person that he could draw, and he could use his mouth to hold a paintbrush and to use a pen. And he could write with a pen, this certain pen, using his mouth. Because both of his arms was cut off. And completely cut off, and both his arms was cut off, and he could use, I would say he was born when he was cut, both his arms was cut off. And I'm trying to rush here, but we're going to take it easy, relax. Okay, and both his arms was cut off, and he could use and draw a great portrait of him, and he was a great painter. And he create great, beautiful pictures. But he also had a good attitude about himself. Well, every time I see him, he will always have a joke. And I was like, I have a disability in my eye, and I walk around here mad with the world. But he can draw. Oh, he doesn't have any eye, but still he's smiling. And he talk about Jesus. He would encourage people to get with the Lord. And I'm like, yeah. But he make you laugh, he make you feel good. And I said, yeah. Then I seen a man that could cook. I was introduced to a guy, he could cook with his nubs and his toes. He bought some mittens. He washed his feet. Then he dry them. Then he put these mittens on there. And then he could open up the oven door. And he used his stubs to help to get picked up. Because he had half of an arm. So I mean, he had the little stubs part. And he could pick up a pot. And then he could... And with his mouth, you could use to stir the food with it. And sometimes he even used his feet to cut up some food with it, cut up the meat and cut up he made a beautiful chicken salad, and we ate, and we all ate because he had covered his feet with the mittens so you wouldn't be getting feet touching the feet didn't touch the food. But in just a minute that he did not let that disability limit him in his creativity. And that's what I'm saying today. Jesus said in John 9, in fact, I am the light. I'm the inspiration. I'm the strip. I'm your courage. I'm your hope. And that means just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you're limited and that you are pervert, that you pathetic, and that then you need to be victimized. Just because a person can't get over your disability doesn't mean that you got to die in your disability. Yeah, and you just don't die and they dying in your disability. You could get over that. That's what I'm saying. Because my disability, by looking at them, and they encouraged me, because the Lord led me to them, and I got over my disability. I stopped crying and moaning and living in lowly bar. And then like the Lord says, stop dying in the eye. And I stopped dying in the eye. And I was able to play field hockey, you play the violin, play the clarinet, play the flute, and play the bass. And I ran track. I played basketball. I could shoot. See, people look at me and they see my disability, amblyopia, as like my lazy eye. Well, I gotta go in there. I'm gonna have to read for her. I can take my glasses. I can still read. Sometimes I don't even need my glasses to read. I can read. I can fill out an application. I can work a job. I don't need you to come over here and toilet me and put my clothes on for me. God has given me the ability to do that. If you get a lot of guys, you say, well, why that guy over there with her? Because you know why? We have a lot of guys. Some people don't take advantage of just people who have disability. Now, there are some people out there that will take advantage of people that's disabled. But you have some people that have that loving spirit that's kind and very loving, and they can't be seen as a pervert because they can look behind a person's faults and see their need. He's not just talking about sexual need. We ain't talking about that. We talking about he can look beyond their disabilities. You got some men out there, they can look beyond a person's disability and see the good person that's behind it. See that personality, see that human being beyond that disability. And some men are very patient. And so then when they get around people that has a disability, they are very patient people. And a patient person, they can wait on. You might be in a hurry or rush, or you got to have things done at a snap of a finger. But they are very patient around a person who has a disability. They can eat in, so they can eat and drink and even go to a party, and not party, they could eat and drink, yeah, party with them. People with disability, because they don't just see them as disabled, but they see them as a human being. That's the type of person they is. And you got women out there that can get around men that's disabled and help them, because they don't just see them as being pathetic and worthless and helpless and doom and gloom. They see them as a human being. And what I'm talking about, you don't have to, and then a person, just because they got over there, they got with me, they was like, hey, I thought she had a limitation. Only thing just her eye goes slight, that's way, but the rest of that body is irrelevant. You know, the rest of her body is irrelevant. She can fill out applications, she can read, she can help take care of business skills. She been to business school. I've been to a lot of different schools. I was afraid to call you a school bum. Well, anyway, I went to a lot of schools, and I got pretty good grades in school because I didn't let this eye disability. When I started letting them stop me from working. Then I say, hey, forget it, go ahead and work. And I worked. I worked for 25 years in the medical field because I did not let this disability limited. And just because you have a disability, that means there is some other creatibilities about you that you can do. And you don't have to be looked at as being a pathetic person, a worthless person. You don't even have to be looked at as being a pervert because you have a disability. You got people who have mental disabilities. Oh, I can't go there because they looking at me, or they call me ugly and they ready to jump out the window because somebody called them ugly. But where you have a disability, there are physical disability where people can visually see your disability, but it's not limiting you in other areas of your life. And because you trust in the Lord and you allow the Lord to inspire you and give you hope and belief, and you trust in His word and you trust in His will, He surrounds you with positive people, great people, a good environment, and give you faith and courage in yourself so you can come out, show the other creativity part about you. And that you is not set up in no limitations. That's what I want to say to you. You are not, just because a person have a disability doesn't mean they have a lot of limitations about them. They are human beings too. And the guy's got over there, well, hey, she got that little slight disability, but the rest of her body the rest of her in a lot of areas, she got a lot of creativity, a lot of potential. Not potential, she got abilities. Not potential. Like I hate people say, well, you got potential. No, she has the abilities. She can really do it. She's great in that area, in a lot of different areas. And they got over there and they was overcome their disability. Said, well, I can look at her because she got a disability, because my disability may not be seen like hers. Hers is visible, but mine's is enclosure. You can't see my disability. I have a disability, but you can't see it. But hers is visible. But by her being visible, she encouraged me, because a lot of times when my mental disability stops me, hers keeps going. Because you know why? She trusts in the J-U-S-U-S, Jesus Christ, who is the light of the world, the inspiration, the strength, and the courage. And that's what you need to do. And you can get inspired by a lot of the people that's disability. Work with some people that's disability. You'll come home a lot of times with smiles on your faces. Then you have some that are sad and grieving, and you can help them bring a smile to their face. You can encourage them to come up out of that lowly bar, stop living in the mud, stop living in grief. And you can share the good news with them. You don't see a lot of people in the church that's disabled, but they still believe in the Lord. And by them still believing in the Lord doesn't mean that God is not going to bless them. He does. So just because you have a disabled, that doesn't mean that the world is over with. Go ahead, be blessed. This is Evangelist. This is Minister, Counselor, Regine. Have a blessed day. Be blessed.